Disagreements. Something we don't agree on. I wanted to talk about disagreements because it's something that I wrote down in my notebook when I listened to this podcast episode a few years ago. And I always knew, or at least I felt confident enough that at some point I would go back to this and it'd be really helpful for me to improve myself and to evolve as a human. So I'm going to read everything that I wrote down, which is not a lot. It's only like 1 or 2 pages. And then I'll give you a little bit of my own experience. So first thing I wrote down was when we're heated in a heated argument, or sorry, not argument, when we're in a heated disagreement, we rarely are able to fully understand one another because we are consumed from our emotions. And in this episode, they spoke about 3 different types of disagreements that can probably lead to conflict. That was my thought process. Number 1, when we haven't heard or understood one another, that's 1. Number 2, when we don't want to hear or understand one another, that's 2. Number 3, when we don't like one another, or we don't like other factors, or we don't like personal differences. Those are the 3 types of disagreements. Now, 3 of the biggest things that came in this episode were how you need to have an open mind. So, number 1, keep an open mind always. Number 2, conflict is destructive, not productive. Let me say it one more time. Conflict is destructive, not productive. Okay. The last thing that they talked about that was really important and pinpoint was when you fight fire with fire, you simply end up with a bigger fire, right? In disagreements, emotions can be high and things can be said. And now all you have is more than what you came with. So there's a bigger fire. The last page, it talks, or I wrote down some things on how to better improve on disagreements and what to do when that happens. So, first question it was, how do you sort out disagreements and find love and understanding? It's a lot more easier said than done, but the simplest way that I can tell you is calm down before you say anything. Okay? Because emotional reactions, like those feelings that we have, they generally last about 1 minute and 30 seconds to settle in. So we need time to calm down. Now, what does that mean? It means for some, it might take days, and for others, it might take minutes to hours. Okay? It just depends on who you are. Some of the other things that they talk about was how to better improve with disagreements is, or how to resolve it. It could also mean to ask for a minute or two so that way you can process and you can have a clear mind. The second thing was breathe thoroughly and close your eyes, because that always helps. Even if you might not think that it does, it truly does help to close your eyes and breathe deeply. Remove yourself from the situation. So things can be prevented if you remove yourself, right? Words, actions can be prevented before you say anything. So the last few things that I wrote down was anything said or done in the heat of anger will likely come back to you. So for me, the first thing that came to mind was that this is, it just simply is defined for me as what goes around comes around. So whatever energy you put out, whatever, what type of energy or approach you put out, it's going to be coming back to you because it is a reflection of one. It's a reflection of ourselves. A couple more things was You don't have to agree with someone to understand where they're coming from. So this plays a big part when I talked about keeping an open mind. You have to keep an open mind, because if you don't, then you leading to understanding where that person might be coming from might not click. At least for me, I say that because it happened to me in the past. Lastly, was make less assumptions and ask more questions. So for me, I grew up in a way of thinking that uh, it's important to ask questions, but don't ask dumb ones. Now, I don't believe in that at all anymore. I struggled with that because there were so many moments in my life where I did want to ask questions, but I hesitated because I thought there would be dumb rhetorical questions, but they weren't. The questions came out of curiosity for me, and it also came from a place of wanting to understand better. These are some of the things that they talked about in this episode, and I hope that you found something that you could resonate with, and I hope that it's something that you can take with. And if you don't, then just leave it here. But a little bit about my own experience with disagreements is, aside from emotions, I've noticed that I've improved, not the most, but improved somewhat. And that's led me to a little bit of more clarity and a little bit more of understanding of where I am at. The last thing that I would want to say to you is, remember, keep an open mind. Find love and understanding, even if it feels or sounds confusing in the moment. Find it in your heart to find love and understanding when you're not in agreement with someone. I hope this was helpful. Remember, you are appreciated, you are loved, you matter, and I catch you guys next time. Peace.